Hello, Captain Bringdown here. Welcome to another installment of You're Doing It Wrong. This time we're going to explore the game Journey. Now, to get into explaining the game Journey, it's pretty much a spiritual, what would you call it? Spiritual pilgrimage up to a mountain. It's a very slow, steady game. The game focuses mainly on the slow process of it, allowing you to really engage in the landscape. It can be done alone. Here, as you can see, you run into quite a lot of people in these games. So to give you a general understanding, you're walking around, you're finding these little glowing things that give you a tail, and then you realize that you can actually hop or fly for a limited time depending on the length of your tail. As you go on and find these little things, it increases the overall length. So, as you're going on, you also find these glyphs that kind of tell you a general story. You also, the only thing you have a form of communication is a little scream. As you can see, what the story is telling us that everybody is in fact dead. So the goal, I guess, is to carry these souls and freeing these, we call them cloth creatures, according to the trophy list. Freeing the cloth creatures, collecting souls, reaching the end of the game. You then have a little thing here, let you know how many of the souls you've actually gathered. Once you've collected all of them throughout the landscape, you become what's known as a white cloak. This is the ultimate goal in the game. As a white cloak, you have a regenerative tail, I guess the best way to say it. And you want to always get the cloak before you get these two early on, otherwise you can't get them again. That's a little pro tip right there. And so once you progress through the game, we're in the little portal stage here. You can actually push start once you've completed it the first time and go anywhere you think you couldn't find those little souls. Now that being said, once collecting the area, you move on through a portal, move on to the next one. Like I said, that being said, these souls are not easy to find. When you really get a glimpse at the vastness of this game, it really is huge, especially the desert part right here. There's a lot to be found out here. But as you see, the mountain, again, is your ultimate goal. So, a lot of times, the game pretty much points you in a singular direction. You know, like I said, the game is focused on meditation and puzzles. So some of it, like this, the sliding part, is you have no choice but to go forward. There's no way to go back. So things have to be found along the way, and a lot of times it's really hard to figure out where things are. If you see a little glowing light on the bottom of the screen there, that means somebody is near you. Okay, so like I said, takes you through all the landscapes. In the end, we all know, who's ever played the game, this is the final conclusion. And it's slow, it's tedious, and boring, and a lot of people don't finish the game because of it. But anybody who's actually achieved the status of White Cloak, like I said, the hard status, it's kind of been an unspoken thing where we try to show everybody who's Red Cloaks where everything is. A lot of things being so hidden, and the only way of communication is chirping. It's not everybody's going to follow you, you know. And then once people do complete the game, like the White Cloak down there, they just keep following the same old static way of playing the game. You're doing it wrong. How could you possibly be doing it wrong? You need to look at it from the perspective of that there's more than one way to traverse these landscapes. Like for instance there, instead of getting the soul, once I hit it, it recharges my cloth. I use that as a booster to give me longer distances, understanding the flying dynamics. Look how much area I just covered there. So flying dynamics, what are you doing wrong? The key is to get a little bit of height, don't waste all your cloth, get some speed, then shoot your nose straight up in the air at the last sec. And it carries you up in the air. This right here is a beautiful example of it, how the technique is done. I get a little bit of speed, I ride it, a little bit more, right before I hit the ground, point the nose up, and you hear the whoosh, and it's that easy. Okay, so once you figured out that, next comes the fun part. As you can see, as soon as you hit this area, this little cloth creature catches you and takes you away. Well, once you've mastered the dynamics of how to gain speed and flying, then it changes the game. Now it allows you to try different things. Like this is one of our favorite games. We call it Cloth Creature Racing. Watch. Now the hardest part about this is knowing whether the thing's actually following you or not. And there he is. Oh boy. And he gets there real quick. So this is a hard race. Now here, I didn't go up in time, but I still made sure to land on the ground and take what little bit I have using the same technique. Nose up, nose down to get the distance because that thing is closing in on me. I try to get that and that. And instead of having to fly back, I get a nice little ride. It's looking at the game a different way. Trying to force the... What is the game capable of? What is the game telling you to do? How can you do it? Like in this area, I like to hit all the marks without ever touching the ground. And the animation after doing this forces you to stay there and watch it. Well, I like to race the animation and beat it. So therefore, I'm not trapped in race there. Most people don't even know there's more than one way to do everything. You don't have to keep doing it the same old boring way. This is a game that I love. See, most people don't even know about the alternative route to get that one. This is what opens up the game to whole new possibilities. Whole new experiences that weren't experienced before. Taking what seems like a lot of people, once you beat it, there's not much to do. Well, this gives you something to do. This gives you something that makes the game fun, to be able to play it more than one way. Like riding the giant whale creature before it leaves this trapped area. Or how about climbing the Great Tower without popping any of the objectives, and then going all the way down to the end and riding the wave up. Experiencing the game in a new way opens up, like I said, a whole new world, a secret world. A world that we don't know if it was intended, but we call this the playground of the White Cloaks, or the elite White Cloaks, where you start to find things that, well, a lot of people never find. This playground allows for allowing you to do all the fun stuff that you would like to do, but the game won't allow it. Well, this areas that are hidden in every area lets you see where the code exposing new lands and worlds, and it's a very unforgiving landscape. I'll give you that as well. It's very easy to get caught in the night and day sequence of the game, being trapped in a blob of darkness. But it allows you to see the game for what it's really capable of. And I do have to say, you need a guide to find a lot of these places. So if you see a white cloak just standing around or doing some weird thing against the wall, you're like, what is this guy doing? He's trying to get to one of these places. I definitely say you should take a guide when running around these areas. I've actually explored them so thoroughly that I have been lost in the game, and without knowing your bearings of exactly where you are, it's really easy to get lost. So please try to keep in mind where you are if you do happen to find upon these places on chance. And you gotta understand that even though I'm taking alternative routes through the map, I'm still completing the game the way the game was intended. I'm hitting every checkpoint. I'm hitting every soul. I'm not missing a single thing. I'm just going through it a completely different way. A way that most people will never experience. Unfortunately, unless somebody were there to show them. They can, and there is a secret way to pairing up with people. You don't have to, it is by chance. Some people think it's not possible, but I used to do it for my daughters all the time. They were 8 and 10. This is some scenery from my love to go into Red Sand City. Most people don't get to explore this area because the game forces you to slide through it. You don't actually, like I said, you can't go backwards. There are very few places you can actually stop here. So being able to come and enjoy the landscape on my own leisure really is a one-of-a-kind experience. Back to how if you were going to pair up with someone, you would both start off at the bridge going in at the same time through a chat, and then you would both hit the same cloth, I guess, because anytime somebody hits any of the cloth creatures without you, it changes that to them. So you're forced, then it separates you. So if you hit the same ones, it keeps you connected. That's the secret. How many people have gone through the snow without losing their actual tail? Actually being able to fly at full speed. Yes, we can go through it the same old-fashioned way. We've all done it a million times. Or will you want to try something different? That's all I have to say. Enjoy the game. Go at it again. Hopefully I'll see you out there. If not, keep searching. The game's not over. Well, bye for now. Captain Bringdown out.